Hey guys, Desolator Magic here, and oh Des. Okay, the clickbait title, what's the video really about? It's about them printing these Black Lotuses and giving them away at the October Commander Fest. Okay, there is a little more to it, obviously, just like the last one. But let me just burn through this, it's a really short article. You'll see where they're going with this, and I'm just playing along because it's funny. So they break down, the locations, the dates, all that. Upcoming is October, that's the one they're really featuring. So promo Reliquary Tower, cool, whatever. And then something about an eternal weekend. It says, it's that time again for fans of all things powered by ancient tombs, Moxen, and Lotuses. That's right, they want all 10 of you to show up. Don't forget your Lamborghini and your Polo. So that means lots of vintage, legacy, and old format excitement. Eternal Weekend also plays host to 2 championship tournaments at each stop. The Vintage Championship and the Legacy Championship, where people sue each other for shuffling each other's cards wrong. I wish I was making that up. You damaged my $10,000 card by shuffling it in a way that I didn't like, and it has nothing to do with the fact that I lost. I'm having my daddy sue you. If I'm not mistaken, that happened at least twice. So, as has been tradition, these events have been commemorated through one of Magic's most unique first place prizes for a tournament. Original paintings, keep that phrase in mind, of iconic cards from the formats embedded in an oversized card frame. This year is no different on that front, though for Vintage, you may be a bit blown away by what we have lined up for this one. Especially because they said they're not going to print these anymore, but I mean, okay. They're oversized prints of quote-unquote original paintings, and by original they mean the opposite. They just have these painted by someone else recently. I think novel would be the adjective they're looking for. Original implies that it's the original. We all know what an original Black Lotus looks like at this point, right? And these ain't it. And the only other detail I can glean just by looking at these is that these are physical objects that they took a picture of. So they are things that exist. This is not a digital render, and that's not a stylized frame, but they are so light on details because they just want the clicky headlines where it's like, oh, look, they reprinted the Black Lotus on a card. They reprinted Black Lotus as a card. It's a promo, guys. Everybody get mad. Everybody click on this. Free marketing. Look at this stunt. We're going to hand these to like 8 whole people, but look at these. Everybody look at us. Woo! What a thinly veiled marketing stunt. My gosh. So I could tell that these are like pictures of real objects because the lighting is so bad. I wish it was a different way, but that's what the giveaway was. And then I enhanced this in Photoshop a little bit. Yeah, they're like, that doesn't appear to be a picture frame. It's like, it's got like a bevel down. So I don't know. I think that these aren't paintings, they're prints. Otherwise, I have so many questions. Did they have somebody come in and paint the card, like the card border? They said painting, not print. I don't know if that's like legally binding, but in my opinion, these are prints. Almost universally, from what I know, the artists keep their original print. They only have to get it scanned or whatever and send it to WOTC. And then they could just auction it off later or whatever. That's been the norm. So these are printed. They appear to be on wood blocks or in some kind of inverse picture frame or something. I don't know. Maybe they dipped it in resin. Maybe it's semi-flush acrylic. I don't know what they did. But it's just such a transparent marketing stunt. They put it on a functional card with the mythic promo symbol and wrote promo on the bottom. It's just so dirty. That's why about 2 minutes into this video, I blew the lid off it. I'm not going to play along just to get clicks, okay? That's what they're doing. I'm better than that. So if you haven't read them yet, 2023 Europe Vintage Championship, Asia, and then North America. How are they going to determine who gets it? I don't know. They're so light on details because the lighter they are on details, the better, because then people pick it up and they're like, I don't know, maybe they are real cards. Maybe it's a real card, but it's oversized. Maybe it isn't even paper in the first place. I don't know. Did they just reprint a Lotus? Question mark. I mean, all they say after this is one paragraph. That's right, the winner of each Vintage Championship tournament for this year's round will be walking away with an original painting, which once again, I don't think that's what it is, of one of Magic's most iconic cards, the Black Lotus, in 3 different stylings from 3 artists. Europe's Vintage Championship will head home with the beautiful Black Lotus featuring the artwork of Raul Vitale, and they go on, to the others. But that's not all. The Legacy Championship events also crown their winners with prize paintings, and this year's lineup leans into a legendary archetype of the format. So if I go by what they're saying on the face, they don't say if this will extend past October, so at least it looks like 3 to 4 of them total will be given out. I'm confused because one of them is in Florida, one of them's in Portland, Oregon, which is both North America, and then we've got Shanghai and Birmingham, England. And as we all know, England is definitely part of Europe. So maybe 2 North America ones will go out because they said the winner. It has to be the champion. But the other 2, it's heavily implied that there'll be a one of unless this extends past October and they made more than one of each. And then it'll just be, I think they had referenced the last quarter. But the point is, we might have another one of situation. Are these going to go higher when they're oversized original paintings that look like a card? I have no idea, but the last time they did this, it was very, very, very unpopular. So as it sits, the reserve list policy is in kind of 2 parts, and they've only violated one of them lately. Look up the history of it if you want to know why I had to qualify it that many different ways. But they're pinned down to they can't do reserve list cards as promos, like judge promos or special limited runs anymore. They can only do them digitally, so MTGO, and non-playable. So gold bordered, basically. So what did they do? They printed Magic 30. It was $1,000 a box or whatever, like $250 a pack, or I don't know, whatever it ended up being. It was outrageous. And pretty much every card in it was worth nothing. I mean, you got the rare, you might be able to pull $70, $80 out of it. And I feel like that's being propped up artificially. Maybe conspiracy theory tinfoil hat time. Propped up by WOTC so that everybody kind of price fixes it and doesn't let it fall below a certain floor. I don't think they have that kind of pull over eBay or TCG Player, but if everybody goes to like, another vendor and sees it for $80, are they going to sell it for 10? You know what I mean? So Magic 30 did have a Black Lotus in it. You might be wondering, okay, so there was plenty of 1994 and 1995 gold promo cards that are completely worthless. You got cards that are like $100 to $1,000 or whatever in alpha and beta, and then they were printed like a year later in gold border, and they're worthless. They're like $1.80. So this time around, everybody's like, well, these aren't even 30 years old, and they have a funny back. So they're also not tournament playable, but they're from this year. How would any of that be worth anything? The answer is, what the hell? Here's the lowest listing, graded right here, 30th anniversary, Magic 30, Black Lotus, they want $48.88. Well, anybody can ask whatever the hell they want. And it's eBay, must be a scam. The Pokemon Network, almost 6,000 feedback, authenticity guaranteed, and it's graded. eBay themselves independently verified it. But like I said, anybody could sell anything for anything. Has it ever sold for that? 9.5, we got sold in Germany for just over 5,500 with 72 bids. Hello. A perfect 10, $6,147.61, also from Germany. And then a 9.5 for some amount below 9,000. So those are actual transactions that actually happen. TCG Player, lowest I could find it is 6. So a non-legal decorative piece of crap that's basically a proxy went for thousands of dollars provably. That is like the established market value, apparently, unless there's like some massive shenanigans going on with this. Like WOTC themselves driving up the bid, or some investors propping it up like some kind of, crypto bro NFT project. Where they just buy and sell to themselves and then try to convince everybody else, look, this actually sold for this. You need to get in on this. And there's no real buyers. I don't know. A lot of long shot conspiracies in this video. But then we've got the completely playable, the One Ring. I feel like the playability isn't a difference because, alpha and beta stuff inside of a slab graded is not playable. Like it is, but it isn't. You can't play with it anymore. And yet that seems to be the dividing factor. But then you come in with Magic 30 and a card's worth $5K. Like I don't get it. It makes no sense when you look at the World Championship gold bordered crap that was printed in 95. There's a disconnect there, and I can't get my head wrapped around that. That's why I thought I'd throw in the conspiracy theories that people are throwing out online. So what will these be worth with them being oversized, but kind of resembling a real card, but we don't know if this is 1, a painting, 2, a print of a painting, or 3, well, not even 3, as a completely separate issue. Is it paper inside of a frame, or is it like dye sub printed onto PVC and painted black with bevels on it? Like, what is this? What is this object? What are we even looking at? I'd say, why don't they just print something on a brick of solid silver? But as you may know, they already did that too. Right now it's back up to retail-ish, but 5-10 years ago you could have gotten it for about half retail. It flopped pretty good. It also technically wasn't a card. I'm not gonna get into it, but look, the video's long enough. Let's cut the crap. I think that this texture indicates that this is like your standard 14-pound or whatever high gloss poster paper inside of a frame, and that texture is because of the rippling from ink-based printing. on too thin of paper, mixed with also potentially the paste job that attached it to the backing, which means the outer part is actually a frame. That's my opinion. It just, that looks like a movie poster pasted to a thing. And if that's the case, I think the value just went down a little bit. I am grasping at straws to try to find something to compare this to, and I've just come down to, you know what? I have a final verdict. These will be worth somewhere between $50 and $2 million. 50 if it's a glorified commemorative movie poster in a cheap frame that they gave away to somebody at some tournament that 3 people watched, and $250,000 if it's a barely oversized but clearly like a mounted, almost like slabbed already by WOTC actual card. But there's no rounded corners, so I think we can almost rule that out. So I think it's gonna go a lot lower than they think, like lower than a Magic 30 Lotus, which is kind of sad. But if I'm wrong, or if that at least wasn't WOTC's intention, that's where it gets really interesting. Let me tell you the really dark part about this. And I'm just sitting here like, okay, so they had to lower the cash prizes because they're losing money left and right. Nobody's going to these stupid events. Nobody's interested in Magic anymore, like for sure standard. And they're holding a vintage and legacy event at a Command Fest, a festival for Commander, the only format people still play. And also historically, nobody watches vintage and legacy tournaments. So it's like, if nobody's watching, you could barely sell ads or get a sponsorship. It's not even your event. And you got to come up with some big splashy, ooh, $50,000 or $100,000 prize. Look at us, we're an esport. Woo, we're back after COVID. But when they go to Papa Hasbro for their allowance, they say, no, give away $5 in a Subway gift card. You're not making any money anymore. Then they're like, what else can we do? Let's reprint a Black Lotus on a chunk of wood. Now, if you're about to say, checkmate, I've got them here, they could have taken what they paid to commission the artist to make this and just given that out as a prize to the winners, then you're not familiar with how much they pay their artists. It would not be an impressive esports championship jackpot award thing. I hope that the artists are going to auction off the art for these, like the original painting that they did by hand, assuming they didn't paint it digital, some of them do that, and auction it off before these events even happen. That would be absolutely hilarious, because they'll probably go for more. I can name a couple famous card paintings that went into the 6 figures. So this ain't a new WOTC stunt, okay? They underpay their employees. This is a well-known fact. I guess according to literally dozens of accounts from ex-employees and salary ranges on the job postings themselves. So like, okay. And then they give them a whole bunch of free product. They're like, here, learn the thing. Know what you sell. It's like, I work in like HR. Yeah, but like this is for work purposes. Wink, wink. It's totally not worth anything on the open market. Wink, wink. Don't tell the IRS. Wink. And somebody referred to it as like the unofficial WOTC retirement account or something like that. So they compensate them at a bare minimum level with US dollars. And then on top of it, here, have this. It might be worth some. I don't know. Keep it sealed. I'm just saying. So they went full like, why pay our employees with money when we can print our own money? Can't really put it any blunter than that. So now they're like, hey, nobody watches or cares about these tournaments. What can we do as a marketing stunt to get a headline while also compensating our winners with a gigantic jackpot amount of money without actually giving them any money? Oh, that's right. We can print money. I forgot. Let's just do another one of and hand it to them. How close to the reserve list can we get without going over? I would actually be surprised if any of these go below 10K. I'll just say it right now. I'm going to say 10 to 50 with upwards being $250,000. And I only say that because I don't know for sure how many are going out, because they do say like there will be 3 weekends for the Eternal Weekend, but they don't guarantee that every single one will have these. They never directly connected those two. They kind of implied it, but they implied a lot of stuff, like implying that these are real cards when they're paintings and they're oversized and they're probably not paper, and they're definitely not cards. And I think it's too soon after the success of the Lord of the Rings, Search for the One Ring, it went for an astronomical amount of money thing, for them to be like doing it again. But I think it was like a similar plan and strategy, you know what I mean? And if you think, wow, what a clever, interesting new idea, look up the card called 1996 World Champion. It is exactly what you think it is, and there is only one of it. Guess who they gave it to? So that thing is worth an unholy amount of money. I don't even remember who currently owns it. I'm not sure we even know. But they're circling back to that because they're kind of, scratching for anything that'll make any kind of money or get a headline because they're just so far behind right now. And so many people are quitting the game because they power ramped it and refuse to do anything about non-enjoyable decks. It's just that simple. Really obnoxious decks. People don't have fun anymore. They made the game more expensive. And then they made the standard format so convoluted. They went on Amazon and competed directly with the stores, which put them out of business. And then they kept pushing esports, pro level crap after COVID, after nobody cared before COVID. So they've just made mistake after mistake after mistake. And now they're like, oh, let's wallet fatigue everybody and just do the last ditch efforts on everything. Let's get out this serialized cards. Let's get out, Secret Lairs, $1,000 proxy sets. What else can we do? I don't know. Do something. It's all burning down. We gotta get as much money before the game fails completely as we can. And now they're doing this. This is the pinnacle right here. I just said the word pinnacle. My next statement was going to be, they've hit a new low, but I'm sure they'll go lower. And I realized that's the opposite of a pinnacle. So yes, I retract my statement calling this a pinnacle. So what are they going to do next? At the next tournament, are they just going to physically give away Mark Rosewater? You now have him. You own Mark Rosewater. I don't know. Probably something with Richard Garfield's hair, if he still has any. Just the WOTC diehards that have worked there for 50 years. Hot glue it with a hot glue gun to the card and stick it in one pack and sell the packs for $50 and pretend it's not a lottery. I don't know. I've got a different idea. Fix standard. Make it simple, affordable, and approachable so that new people can start entering the game and hopefully exceed the number that are leaving. That it's just simple math. You need more onboarding than offboarding. This is not an advanced economic concept, but they don't seem to get it. It's all in short term, burn it down, and now, we've got 3 fake Lotuses. Wow. Who didn't see this coming? So yeah, thanks for watching. I've got an even weirder video coming out shortly. It's quite the day for Magic stuff, so thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time.